Welcome. Are we live?
Well, most of them have the same hair
Ish.
color as Marge, so
Yeah, no shit. Welcome to those podcasts in this new luxurious studio. Yes, I shit money and take names. Actually, this whole thing cost me, I think, $300. So cool. Thrifty bitches. Yeah, we're live. Lot of news this week. Lot of news. But first,
yeah.
check this out.
What happened to you tonight?
I go to Wild Wings. The news this week.
Oh,
Ooh, I'm
volume up.
fucking
I have
gorgeous.
to do. I have to do my job since we
Yes.
don't have a fucking intern. Whoops.
Next week we will have a Black Jamie.
I am Black Jamie.
Yeah, Rogan's guy that does all the searching when he's talking is named Jamie.
Oh,
This guy's name is not Jamie, but he's gonna be Black Jamie.
okay. He's gonna be okay with. Did he know what he's getting into?
He's listened a few times.
Okay. He didn't
Yeah.
see the episode from 3-4 weeks ago, did he?
I hope not.
The bad one.
Well, I told him there's about one medium one really bad one, and then one bad one because the last one was a bad one. But so like bars around here are seldomly packed. Like there's usually a place where you can go wedge your way in, get a drink. It's never fucking 2 or 3 people deep. You know what I mean? But Wild Wings was, dare I say, popping tonight. So I wanted
Was it
it was
lit?
it was lit.
Lit.
All I want to do, Lewis lit. All I wanted to do, sorry.
Yes,
wanted
here
to
we go.
I already smoked weed.
Yeah.
I had to go pick up some beer for the podcast and for just general life. So I don't blow my brains out. And I
She ran out of beer.
So I just wanted to go and grab a fucking quick beer, you know? I go down to the far end, hoping there's like a satellite seat. You know, sometimes when the bar curves, nobody sits on the far end.
Yeah.
I'm cool with that. So I go to the far end, nothing. And I'm kind of behind this black guy, and he keeps looking at me like I'm about to fucking arrest him. So I go, cool. Then I see a seat at the far end of the bar in between an old couple, like I would say probably in their 50s, no offense. They show it. You do not look 50 because of the way you dress. You dress like a fucking 19-year-old. That was a compliment.
Yeah, fuck off.
Flat brims. So and then it's next to two.
Easier for my glasses not to push down on my.
I
bridge
fucking
of my
totally
nose.
understand.
One reason I really wear them.
It's next to 2 girls, 2, dare I say, Buffalo Betties at Buffalo Wild Wings, if you know what I mean. Yeah. So, mind you, there's a bunch of tables in the bar section. You know how Wild Wings is. Bar top tables, bunch of them open, but the bar is fucking packed. Would you consider Wild Wings to be it's a sports bar?
Yeah, 100% sports bar.
It's a chain, but it's a sports bar, right?
Correct.
So I go down to those 2 chairs and I see this huge purse sitting there. So I go, and I figure, well, maybe the person that was sitting there put their bag there so no one sat there, and that person's going to take a monster shit because if she's friends with these 2 buffaloes, maybe she's going to be there for a while. You know what I mean?
The fucking what do you call it? The Flintstones, right?
Yeah.
The water buffalo or
Yeah.
whatever.
So I'm just using the art of deduction, going, maybe there's a third, because obviously they're not meeting any men here. So I say, excuse me, Phildo, what's up? I didn't say that. I said, excuse me. And my brother was like, you fabric. Is anyone sitting here? She goes, no. Not, oh, like if my coat was on a chair, I would go,
No.
oh, sorry. Yeah, get in. Yeah.
No, let me move my purse.
Sure.
All right. Yeah.
And I was like, I had to ask a follow-up question. Do you mind if I sit here? She goes, I guess. Ugh. And she picks up this, maybe it had all her cookies in it. I'm not sure.
Snacks. Blue hair dye.
They do get very hangry.
Yeah.
Because of what's that P word? Patriarchy. That's keeping them down. So I'm kind of annoyed, but I didn't say anything. I said, thanks. Because most people think the people that vote the way that apparently I do, because I'm a Nazi now, because I found out that last week I'm a Nazi.
Yes.
Which is cool.
I voted to kill women and gays.
But yeah, apparently. So I sit down, annoyed, but okay with it, right? And then I look over and they're drinking, as they say in Southern Illinois, sody pops. They're drinking soda at a bar, at a sports bar. NBA just got started. There's college basketball on. There's hockey on.
Maybe they're recovering alcoholics, dude. You really shouldn't judge people like this. You're
Take your fat ass and go to a fucking table if you're going to get mott sticks that got delivered.
Dude, mott sticks rule.
They do. But she should probably eat salad mott sticks.
Salad sticks.
Salad sticks.
Without being deep fried.
He ho ho. Dude, at that point I was livid. Then you're not well traveled, I would say, but you go to places. Yeah, but the places you go are college towns. This college town is hell-bent at making you wait to get a drink. Most college towns are like, if I serve you and I get over here, by the time I come back, you're probably going to want another one. I'm going to make some more money.
Yeah, by the time you go down the bar and come back, I'm ready.
Yeah, bing, bang, boom, right? So this fucking guy, I'm like this. He comes over. He's like, what do you need? He's bringing the food menu, the napkins, all that shit. I was like, I'm here for one beer. I want a tall blue moon. And that's it. He goes, oh, okay. So now I'm getting shade from two fucking people.
One's a bartender.
One's a bartender. But he's a guy bartender. And this is my theory. By the looks of the group, he has no reason to even try to be impressive. You know, he doesn't need a Tom Cruise, he doesn't need to do this, fucking cocktail it.
Yeah.
He's not, his only choices were these two apparent lesbians.
And who were most likely drinking diet pop.
Yes. Yeah. For their mott stick.
As they do. I want a large Big Mac meal, supersize my fries, and a Diet Coke.
First of all,
Diet Coke going to do for your fat cunt self? What is it going to do?
Diet Coke does rule, though.
It does not. No Diet Pop is any good at all. They all suck.
My favorite sody pop is a cold Diet Coke.
Ugh. Fucking
might be gay. I might be gay. So I'm just like annoyed. Then I start thinking, what if I own this place? And we've done this before, but if I own this place and I would have a rule, a little sign that said, the bar is for beer drinkers and
alcohol drinkers.
Alcohol drinkers. That's where the bar seats are for. Get your fucking ass over there.
Back to the high top.
By a waitress. He's basically taking up drinkers' time
and money. We're here to spend money.
And they're there on free refills.
Yeah.
I was a little annoyed by that.
We were in the Blue Leprechaun last Saturday night. Our bartender, it wasn't so busy at all, but we were at the far end of the bar, opposite end of where you and I were hanging out with that most gorgeous Korean kid with the hair. Yeah. Opposite end of the bar where the waitress station was, where the drink tickets came out. So the bartender's going back and forth, getting a few beers for people coming back, got to make drinks. And she kept making shots. And she'd set them down, put the ticket up. And we're like, the first time we said it, we're like, ooh, what's that? So she told us, okay, cool. Not that we and Charlie are ready to bang shots. But every time after that, she came back, she'd make a shot. As we were looking, she'd tell us what it was. She kept going. She kept engaged. And every third time she went back and forth, she was like, how you guys doing? I mean, I think we were drinking bottles of beer, but she kept asking, how are you guys? We're like, I go, next time through, grab us some beer. No hurry. We got beer left. So she was like, times where cool about that.
If I know the dude is, or even the girl or the dude or whatever is busy, I'll be like, hey, and I maybe took a sip out of a bottle. I'll be like, the next time you think about it, just bring me one.
Yeah.
Because then at least I got two.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna sit here fucking waiting on it. You know what I mean? Like I hate that shit.
With
But
when we went to Wild Wings last Friday, the one by the hotel there, our bartender was absolutely awful.
yeah,
Like our beers were gone, our food showed up. I'm like, I kind of can't choke these wings down without something to drink. I'm like,
right.
the bar is not that busy, and the restaurant wasn't that busy. You're not making mad drinks. And she's over walking around fucking looking up, fucking green hair dye on Amazon. And I'm
Yeah.
like, bitch, get me a fucking beer.
I'm a fan of prep bars for the restaurant and bars for the restaurant or
Yeah.
for the bar. You know, like
You are the prep bartender. When the ticket comes in for tables
yeah,
and high tops, you
you
make
handle
their drinks, you get them ready, you put them on their little things with the ticket over here. I'm
Yeah.
going to take care of the people at the bar.
And if I'm over here making a fucking heavy mixed drink or some specialty drink and you don't have a ticket come through, get the overflow. You know, just basic logistics, right? Hot girls don't want to have you seen me?
Wear that.
Have you seen me? I mean, you've seen me, and I know the guy that you're with, and that guy looks like he remodels homes with Joanna. His dead tooth.
That's your
Fucking
brother, dude.
Oh, never mind. Your brother is ugly.
He's not.
No, your
He's
brother's gorgeous. Your brother is fucking gorgeous. As are you.
I don't know what happened between the two of them and then their brother, Bob.
Usually there's just
there is a genetic drop off somewhere.
Usually you got a lazy sperm in there.
Yeah,
Like,
I mean,
I
you
guess
know
I'll
those
take it.
massive oak trees with the two huge branches.
Yeah.
That's Jamie and Lee, and then Bob is like that little twig that comes out of the bottom of the tree, like a bird dropped a seed on it or some shit. That's him.
Well, it's because they named him fucking Bob. One's Jamie, one's Lee. Maybe he came
We're
out
gonna name
ugly,
this
like,
one.
I guess just Bob. I guess.
Yeah.
Fucking, I don't know. Fuck. Yeah. So
Bob doesn't like me because Jamie likes me, and Lee likes me. We always have a fucking ripping good time when we go down there.
I kept like moderately dipping into the deep end of being drunk when we met Lee, or when I met Lee for the first time, and I kept going, "You're just like really pretty." He goes, "You got to stop saying this."
Well, yeah, but the conversation that we had at the blackjack table was completely not necessary.
Yeah. Anyways, I guess we can get into it. The election happened.
I wonder if Lee's watching. If we see fucking too much butt hair show up, we'll know he's in the house. God. There he is. What's up, handsome?
That dude.
Too much butt hair in the house.
But yeah, we had a little realignment of the country this week.
How you feeling about that?
I feel great, but I'm also aware that some people probably don't feel great.
I'm aware of that, and I honestly don't give a flying fuck.
But I was
sitting on here 100 times. I say it on Facebook. I don't care about your feelings. Your triggers are not my fucking account. I don't need to tiptoe around your triggers. I don't. I
thought about it today too. Like, for the longest time, if you align certain ways politically, you are either a darling and no one deserves to talk to you this way. No one can offend you. Let us know, report it, all this other shit, hate speech, this, whatever, right? And if you are aligned another way, like, fuck them, they're the devil, they want to kill everybody, all this shit, right? So today I kind of came to grips and was just like, you know what? Everyone's entitled to their opinion. But if it had gone the other way, I'm 100% sure that people that are now having to take a break off social media and which is probably better for everybody, but get away from it all and feel horrible. And I'm curling up in a ball crying, like all this kind of shit. Right. I think those people would have been gloating.
Oh, they would have been rubbing it in her face. Everything's going to be great. I'm like, wait a second. Everything's not great. It's going to get worse. But it's just insane to me watching yesterday. All these people blame Trump, who's not even the president, has no power whatsoever right now. How they're blaming him for everything.
Yeah.
It's like, wait, just wait.
What's funny is if you look at the breakdown of the people that are with Trump, for example, I did this little thing. Trump endorsements. Okay. Elon Musk.
These people endorse Trump.
They came out and endorsed Trump. Okay. Elon Musk, former Democrat. Kennedy, former Democrat. Tulsi Gabbard, former Democrat. Joe Rogan endorsed Bernie last time, or when Bernie ran, former Democrat. And Peter Deutsch, D-E-U-T-S-C-H, Deutsch, former Democrat. And if you go look at the people that are affiliated kind of in the Republican neighborhood, let's just say Vivek Vaishramani or whatever the fuck his name is, JD Vance, and you start to go down the list of those guys, there are literally 6 really high potential guys that if they ran as a Democrat were going to be a better fit in that puzzle and probably would have been better than Biden and better than Harris. True. But Harris was kind of like force-fed, probably somewhat outside of the Democratic process.
Yeah, because she never would have won that race.
No.
Not even close. She would have got absolutely smoked.
Well, Tulsi Gabbard wiped the goddamn floor with her when they were running last time. And that's what caused her. She had 1%.
Yes, that was the number. I'm like, wait a second. It stuck in my head, and I was trying to remember if that was it. Yeah.
Well, I had this situation where I put up on Snapchat when, because the the blue wall states and all that kind of shit, Wisconsin, Michigan, and Ohio, right, and Philadelphia and Pennsylvania, right. Those swing states can kind of go either way.
Isn't that why they're called swing states?
No, it's because they fuck other couples.
Oh, I got it. Oh,
it's
okay.
Got to use the terminology.
Got
it. Early reporting was positive for Republicans. Then it switched a little bit, and then it kind of started to go. I was like, holy shit! Like he might win 2 of them. Oh my god, he might win 3 of them. Oh my god, he might sweep all of them, which he ended up doing. So I put up on Snapchat, like with Trump behind me, and I just looked up and went, whoa, that's all I did. I didn't say yay. I didn't say awesome. I didn't say I can finally say the FAG word in public. I didn't say any of that shit because I'm a well-adjusted person when I leave the house. And when I do, definitely when I don't do a podcast, I'm at the house.
Between business hours.
Yes.
Okay.
So I get this this comment from a girl I know, and she starts like kind of talking shit. She's like, "Oh, like you're one of those people and whatever." I was like, "No, I think my politics hasn't really changed too much, other than the fact that I don't think the government should supplement revenue for people that aren't trying. Like that's a big gripe that I have. I think schools shouldn't be a place where you have to be okay with someone being a cat. I think there should be some fucking checks and balances and all that shit. I think anything government ran is inherently inept. Schools, roads, around where we live, they put in a little roundabout. And if you would have went to a private contractor, they probably could have billed the county $500,000. It ended up costing $2.6 million for literally a round piece of concrete with a fucking pine tree in the middle of it. You know what I mean? Like, I just think that there's a lot of money that just goes missing, and I don't like that. Missing. So I kind of think I'm more of a what are those guys that want the government to leave them alone? White guy. I'm a white guy. No, I'm a libertarian, probably more than anything, And so like it goes on for a little bit longer, whatever. And she says that I'm a fucking Republican or whatever, and I go, that's I didn't know that people could change so quickly, because the whole week I was being told I was a Nazi. So for you to just call me a Republican, I guess I have to take that. I don't know that I'm hardcore Republican. I think I'm more of a libertarian. I just want everyone to leave me alone and spend our money on the people that need it and stop giving money to some guy that wears a fucking turtleneck all the time and wants to fight with Russia. So she posted this thing on Instagram and it said something like this. Let me see if I can find it. Yeah, I'm going to misquote the thing, but you get the idea. Hold on, let me find it. My mouse isn't working. Something like this. This election is a war on reproductive rights. And whatever you want. Like, so Ruth Bader Ginsburg was against Roe versus Wade. So the number one champion of the feminist movement was also against Roe versus Wade. Just putting that out there. Not a lot of people would think that, but that's really the case. I believe in a woman's rights to choose. I firmly believe that women don't want men telling them what to do with their bodies. Whatever. I don't think that you could be halfway through a pregnancy and hit the baby in the head with a dart and fucking call that an abortion. I think that that's kind of wrong. I think there should be a timetable. I'm all fine with people that are going to grow up and live off the system to kill their babies. Great. Do it. It's less for me to pay for. That made me sound like a Republican. And then said, she posed this thing and said, people of all genders, affiliations, and identities should have the right to an abortion. Now, I decided to talk shit because she decided to talk shit to me earlier.
Well, that's the thing. They don't like this.
Right.
They hate this shit. It's like you make fun of Kamala and Biden for being absolutely inept.
Sure.
And you say, I'm voting for Trump. And then the fucking mudslinging comes. But then if you talk shit to them, they're like, you can't do that. I'm like, you just did it. What's good for the goose is good for the gander. You come at me, I'm coming back. I got in that argument with those fucking bulldogs the other day. And I fucking was telling Krista.
We're actually gay bulls.
I had to stop before I got banned. I was going to absolutely clobber this woman. And I said, Daryl, for once in your fucking pathetic life, take the high road. Don't get banned on Facebook and move on with your day.
Yeah. And also, like,
so laugh emoji, exit conversation, and fucking heads came apart.
When you get into the back and forth, especially on the fucking internet, you're not going to win anyways because they have, and this is kind of what happened. But like, I had more of a problem with the way it was written.
Yeah.
And so let's say that you could hypothetically be a guy that transitions to a woman and then go get a uterus transplant to hold a baby. Then you're going to get an abortion, right? So I just said, you know, it said, her thing said, all genders, affiliations, and identity should have the right to an abortion. And I just said, and I was poking the bear, but I was being very nice about it. I just said, if they're getting an abortion, we can probably assume their gender. You would think.
You would, yeah.
You know what I mean? Definitely not making fun of the subject matter, but just the idea that a man can get an abortion seemed a little off point to me. So then she went on with the rhetoric that you could expect to hear from someone on that side of the table, and it really hit me. I don't think that I personally have shifted so far right. I think the left has shifted super far left.
Yes, they're almost out of frame at this point.
And then, like, earlier in the week when fucking Dick Cheney.
He's still alive?
Yeah. Fuck. I think he's got a pig heart or something, right? The guy's the literal devil. He's responsible for 100 million people dying because he prompted that weapons of mass destruction shit in Iraq that wasn't there, and then got a no-bid contract from the government for his company Halliburton to rebuild Iraq after the taxpayer paid for Iraq to get destroyed.
Get blown up. Yeah.
And the left was like, we got one. This is our guy. And his wife was on some news channel, probably CNN or MSNBC or something like that. And they were asking her to be Secretary of State or something, whatever, some high ranking fucking thing. If or when Kamala Harris wins. It's like, These people are the fucking devil.
Yeah.
They're the devil.
My thing is like, hey, you guys can say openly you hate Trump, so you are going to vote for Biden or Harris this time.
Sure. And it's
But if I say I'm going to vote for Trump because I don't like Biden or Harris, now I'm a Trumpster.
Mhm.
Now I'm a right-wing radical. Now I'm this, now I'm that. Like, no, motherfucker. Like, I had a conversation with somebody. They call me this, that, and everything. I says, motherfucker, I am about dead center down the middle here.
Yeah.
And they're like, you hate women, you hate women's rights, you don't want to see a strong woman be president. I do.
Find me a strong woman, because what was given to us was definitely not a strong woman.
She was fucking unqualified. What about she's the state prosecutor for California. She does all this. She holds numerous degrees. Yeah, but did you hear her talk? And have you seen the shit she's pulled? Keeping inmates in jail longer on weed sentences, just because, and then laughing about it, and then smoking weed just to prove that she can do it and you can't. This woman was the fucking epitome of the word cunt.
Yeah.
Give me a strong female that has been around, that has made changes.
We talked about this,
or Democrat, and I will fucking most likely vote for you.
If it was Tulsi Gabbard running against Donald Trump, I probably would have voted for
Gabbard.
Yeah, 100%.
I probably would have.
Yeah. She's
but you can't tell them that. They don't want to listen after they know you voted for Trump.
She's a strong woman of color. Yeah. She's been a senator. She's been deployed overseas. She was a medic. Yeah, so if you see that gray streak in her hair, that's from being on a war zone. She got that after being on a war zone. It just came in. Yeah. She's a bad motherfucker.
Yeah.
But dare I say logical. She's a logical person.
Yeah.
The whole fucking thing. The person that's in charge of the United States health is a former fat guy that's a fat girl now.
Oh, that fucking meme with the Secretary of Health or whatever.
And then Kennedy. Yeah.
Yeah, and then Kennedy next to him. I'm like, what the fuck?
Why wouldn't we want that?
It's like, I was just saying this at work, and I'm like, I went to the nutrition specialist at my work, at the doctor's office last summer. Because I wanted, after my arm and everything, I wanted to get back into being a little bit better about everything. So I went to see this nutrition specialist. Why are you 260 pounds?
Yeah.
But you're going to talk to me about nutrition?
Yeah.
Wait a second.
It's like someone being a life coach and they live in the back of a bowling alley. You're like, all right, fix your fucking life first and then coach me. You know, it's like, I've had friends in the past that are very quick to give out advice, and their life is in the absolute shit.
Yeah.
So I just think if you operate with some fucking logical sense, you're going to be okay. Do I think Trump's going to be a good president? I think, here's what I think. I think Trump, and I've said this before, he's so narcissistic that he doesn't want to lose or be looked at as a failure.
Yeah.
Something happened to him in his childhood.
To a fault here. Yeah.
To a fault where it's, I heard this guy, I think maybe Miles brought it up. But he saw this video or something like that. And some guy was talking about, he had a choice between heart surgeons. And one guy graduated top of his class and whatever. And the other guy is a straight up narcissist and still was pretty much top of his class. And he's like, I'm going to choose the fucking narcissist because that guy is going to do everything in his power to not fail.
Yeah.
And it just seems like lately we've gotten to this point where we're accepting laziness. We're accepting pandering more than anything. The fact that she would change accents based on who she was talking to.
Dude, how is that
pandering?
And nobody on the left saw that. Not one of them. You're like, wait a second. She's in the whitest county in America. She has a white accent. All of a sudden, she goes into Philadelphia. She's got the hood accent.
Yeah.
She goes down to Texas. She's got a little bit of Mexican accent.
She was on the Late Show and she was talking like Jamaican.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like, what do you like? So at a certain point, you got to go, okay, they're pandering so much that they're just stealing. Phil, though, it's a great comment. I think it was probably worse than that. I think he probably got a fucking B, and maybe he had to eat with a regular spoon, not a golden spoon. That's probably the case.
Yeah.
But
everybody's harping on his business failures and that he's a convicted felon. I'm like, wait a second. And they're like, I can't wait for him to go to jail. Like, it doesn't matter, president or not, he's not going to jail. The precedent's been set. All the people that were charged with what Trump was charged with and convicted
which were misdemeanors, by the way. Cousin brother, what's up?
I've never spent a day in jail.
No.
So there's no fucking way he's going. It's not like he was raping and imprisoning women. He had an affair and he paid some bitch to keep her mouth closed.
Okay, let's stop right there. I got a clip from one of our favorite people, Jim Norton. My mouse wants to work. Let me see if I can get this up. Jim Norton, one of the all-time best radio people of all time. Great comedian too. He's talking about, and so Jim Norton, I believe, voted for the right. I'm not going to say he did. I'm just saying I believe he did. And he's talking about this whole thing with Trump getting caught cheating and stuff like that.
Cohen is probably telling the truth, but I don't care. I absolutely don't care about this crap at all. I don't care if he did it. Yeah. He should have had sex with her. He did. Yeah. He lied. I don't trust any president that gets caught cheating on his wife and immediately goes, you got me. Like, that's not a negotiator. I don't care at all. I don't care if he had sex with her and wiped her back off with a classified document.
Oh, little Jimmy Norton,
little Jimmy, yeah. But that's the thing. Like, I just, the things he got charged for had already gone past the statute of limitations, as we call it. I know. Remember the statute? Come on, call back.
Dude, I was drunk.
No, that's a statute of limitations. They bring out a statue of a crippled person, and then you're off on all charges. So, but yeah, I just, so the stuff he got trumped up charges, great. It's just to me, it just seemed like, and I don't like the term witch hunt unless we're all going out and drowning a woman in a river. But it was kind of a witch hunt. You know what I mean? And
it was more than kind of.
To me, it was more Trump against the standardized American media than it was Trump against Kamala Harris. Like,
it was more Trump against everyone.
Yeah.
I mean, you're showing me a guy who's not a career politician, who's made some sketchy choices in his past, and if we're really talking about it, what normal person hasn't, right?
Yeah. Phil, it's a great point. Anytime fucking Kimmel gets on and starts crying, I'm like, remember you hosted the Man Show where at the end it was always girls jumping on trampolines, and now you're the signpost for all that is good and white men that accept the left. Fuck you. Fuck you right in your ass. Go ahead. Sorry, Daryl.
So he's a non-politician who gets into the White House. Immediately, he's talking about draining the swamp. And we all know there's not one politician who's on the up and up. Not one of them.
No. They're people.
They are scared as fuck. So they rigged the election to not get him back in, which we can all see now. It was 100% rigged.
Well, let's talk this.
Hang on. Let me finish this real quick. And then we'll circle back.
Remind me of rigging, but make sure you pronounce the R.
Yeah. Rigging. It's the same guy that was in Lethal Weapon. Okay. Then
that's good.
He gets shot at twice. Why are they trying?
Attempted the other time.
Yeah. Shot at.
Yeah.
Why are they trying to quiet this guy? What does he have, or what does he know, and what is he going to find out? And then this time, they're like, everybody's coming out against him. But I mean, I had heard rumblings over the summer that the right was coming hard.
Mhm.
Trump had garnered so much more support from unlikely sources.
Yeah.
Because they knew that Kamala was unfit. She was thrown. They waited until the last second to say, "Oh, Biden has dementia, so we got to put Harris in. She can take his fucking treasure chest and run with it."
Yep.
He gets in, fucking heads are exploding everywhere, and I couldn't be happier. Watching everybody claim the sky is falling, we're doomed, this, that, and the other thing. I'm like, you know what you need to do? January 5th, take a screenshot of your stock and your 401k. If that goes up, I want you to take that balance out, that difference, and I want you to give it to the illegals.
So there's two things.
Rigging.
Number one, thank you. Say it again in 2 seconds. Make sure they are really hard.
Rigging.
Stock market is poised for a bubble, whether we like it or not. Now, I think futures look really encouraging. The day after he gets elected, futures go up, the dollar surging. Hamas all of a sudden wants to talk about a treaty. Russia comes out saying the very next day, hey, we should probably talk about solving this thing.
Why is that? Why
it's
are these things
Daddy's
happening?
home. It's because Daddy's home. You fuck around all day with your mom around. What does she say? Wait till your fucking father gets home.
Daddy's home.
Daddy's home. So whether we like it or not,
are going to get spanked.
Trump's USA daddy, and it's fine.
Yeah.
Dude, the rigging part.
Yes.
Let's say hypothetically.
Wait, now we can say the hard R?
Yeah, rigging. Okay. Yeah, you got to do it in the front.
It's in the front. Okay.
Yeah, because if it was an N with rigging, without the ing, with an R, not good.
Yeah, not good. Okay.
You can only say that in traffic, apparently.
Yes. With your windows up.
So
really white neighborhood.
The rigging part. Let's say hypothetically that 81 million people voted for Joe Biden last time, and let's say that is true. Okay,
so we're telling jokes now.
Sure.
Okay.
So let's say that is 100% true.
Conversation's sake. Yes.
Is it not rigging if a bunch of people sign off that are in the Secret Service, sign affidavits saying that the Hunter Biden laptop thing is Russia collusion? It's 100% fake. Is it not rigging that social media devalued those articles from being either searched or shared? Is it not illegal that Twitter would pull everything down? Is it not rigging if Twitter would pull that stuff down? To me, that's as egregious as maybe another 15 million votes showing up for another person. You know what I mean? Like, it just seems like you can rig an election by misinformation. For example, on the fucking day of the election, if you Googled on your phone, where can I vote for Trump? It would have articles that were pulled. Some were positive for Trump. Some were negative because there's more negative articles than positive articles for Trump because of the media. And if you Googled where can I vote for Harris, it would have map directions to polling places.
Yeah.
And then at 3:00 in the afternoon, my time, so 4:00 your time, polls closed at like 6 your time, or maybe 8 if you're lucky.
It was 9. Some places were open until 9 here.
Okay. They were trying to fix it at 4:00 Eastern.
It was didn't some shit go down in Philadelphia?
Yeah.
I remember seeing some posts because I'm not allowed on Twitter. And I saw some posts that they said that there is blatant reports of cheating going on in Pennsylvania. Law enforcement's on the way, and all of a sudden you saw that shit get squashed so fast.
Yeah, so in some places, I maybe it might have been Philadelphia. When you go to a gas station, they have a sticker proving that the thing hasn't been opened.
Yeah, over the panel.
The gas station panel. There's also a lock associated on the back of the machines.
Yeah.
And 30,000 votes went through without the lock being locked. So they actually went and pulled those 30,000 votes back out and reran them after the system was locked. So it seems like the election was a little fucked up. I saw this graph and I wish I would have saved it. I was watching Fox when they were talking about, like, remember 4 years ago, early voters had this massive spike for the first batch of early voters that were ran. So you see like Biden take off, and then you see Biden stuff start coming down, and then Trump stuff start going up to here. And then magically towards the end of the night, sometimes 3:00 in the morning, there was another batch of mail-in votes, maybe because the polling places got busy, they couldn't run mailing, but whatever that is. And then at the end, it kind of did this again. And it seems like a lot of fuckery was left off the table this time.
Yeah.
Side note, I vote every year. I vote almost every year when I went to vote. My name wasn't on the registered voter list on iPad. My ballot had the envelope, and God knows where that went. Just wanted to add that. Yes. Yeah. I went to vote 4 years ago. I fill out the fucking thing. I voted for Trump because I'm kind of a logical fucking person. Yeah. And the guy at the polling place opens the envelope, like the little fucking SAT test fucking thing you got to put your thing in.
The Scantron thing.
Yeah. And he goes, Trump, huh? Before he puts it in the fucking machine. I'm like, yeah. He goes, huh? Wouldn't have expected that. What? Like, are you going to hit the fucking delete button after that? Yeah, go ahead, Darryl.
It's because he thought you were gay.
Oh, that's true. Yeah. I was wearing a fucking beanie.
Yeah.
That makes sense. That tracks.
Probably a scarf. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. We're
painted nails.
raped.
It's cool. But yeah, it's what's weird is so Olivia's learning about the government and all that kind of stuff. And she goes, great. So Trump won, and that's great. But where are we at with the Senate? And I was like, oh, he won that too. She goes, okay, great. Where are we at with the House? She's 10. She's a bad bitch. And I was like, the House hasn't really been called yet, but I think he's winning by like 11 positions right now. So like, yeah. I think it should come out ahead. But it's kind of strange that Biden, in the time that we had mail-in votes, was voted for more than any person on the planet in the United States history. What's really cool is that there are some counties in America that have only voted Republican once in the entire history of the United States. And now it's twice.
Yeah.
Trump, you saw on TikTok, I'm not on TikTok, but like you saw on Instagram, you saw like Blacks for Trump and the inner city stuff and all this kind of stuff. That stuff started to hit. And to me, that movement should really be talked about, because the first thing that the left-leaning media would say, well, they're just uneducated. So the whole time the president that you want to be elected is pandering to the black community, and the black community is going, fuck that. Like, we're going to vote this way. They won. The Republicans won because of the Hispanic, black, and suburban women. And the first thing that MSNBC does is go on and say Trump won because of uneducated white women. I know I talk a lot, and if you want me to keep talking, I can.
Yeah, well, you're the educated one here. I just throw stupid shit in every once in a while.
Okay.
But that whole debate just, all of a sudden, at one point, you saw everybody coming out, all the females and all the gays were going to vote for Kamala, and she had all the black vote. But then you started to see interviews with people and they're like, there is no fucking way I can vote for her.
They just assumed because of this.
You ain't black. You ain't black.
Yeah.
You ain't black.
Like that shit. Like that's not the case. They just think that they got black people in the bag. And here's what's really fucked up about the black community. I believe the black community is 13 to 15% of all of America, right? 13 or 50%. It seems like there's a lot more. But because I'm a racer. No. It seems like there's a lot more. But 13 to 15% of the people in America are African American. And here's what's really weird. I wanted to ask you this. I asked Black Jamie this too. His name is actually James. But it seems like during the week, everyone kept saying blacks. Is that a thing now? Is African American out?
Yeah, it's a lot to say. It's just easier. I mean, dude, you don't see a week. You don't see people
going, he's big with the blacks. It's like, whoa.
Well, it's not a slur. It's that's the way I pretty much say it, because I'm not going to say African American every fucking time, because most of the people I know that are black are not African. And it's always the white people or the YT people. It's never fucking Caucasians. So
to your point, cousin Brenda, she said, I think the percent is higher. If Brenda, if you want to Google it. I believe it's somewhere between 13 and 15%. So let's say hypothetically that you believe that you're losing the black vote, even though I would say African American, but whatever. That's what the pundits were saying. Blacks. Black. So the first thing you want to do is go.
Do you say, is it not? It's not BBC anymore. Is it BAAC now? Is that where we're going with things?
Black, aggressive, angry cocks.
No, big black cocks is now big African American cocks. I mean, who says this? Nobody. It's black.
I think if you're getting down and fucking, then you could say black. I think
if you're gonna be walking, if you're getting you and Ortez and Jerry and at a bar, and one of your white friends walks up, like, oh, this is my black friends, Jerry and Ortez. Are they gonna get mad that you?
No, I would just say this is Jerry and Ortez. He can see that they're black. If he was blind, I'd say protect your wallet.
Your blind friend.
I'd be like, put your wallet in your back pocket, in your sock. Do not let Jerry order drinks on your tab. So let's say that you believe, because there's war room talk and then there's political talk. Political talk is we got to say that she's going to get the black vote a lot, because then black people will go, we should probably vote for her because I heard a lot of other people are going to do it, right?
Yeah.
The sphere of influence is what they call it, right?
Yep.
Say it into fruition or whatever.
That's a hard word to say when you've been drinking.
Thank you. But
I'm not
here's
saying
the thing.
you're drunk, but saying I can't say that word after a couple more beers.
I wouldn't say I'm not drunk.
I like that word. I start to use it a lot more as I'm getting
love it.
older. Yeah.
Love it. Fruition. It's easier for
What
me to
does
say
it mean?
fruition
Yeah.
versus anything with where you gotta stick your tongue out.
Yeah.
Like suck that cock. I'm sorry, spit in my mouth and swallow it.
Lubing up, are you?
So let's say war room Democratic left, right? Because if you say Democratic, it means like the right to
left.
vote. Yeah.
Correct.
Yeah. War room left people are going, we are seeing pre-polling numbers where we are going to lose the black vote. Or it's going to swing pretty aggressively, 5%, 6%.
Cue Kamala's black accent.
Yeah. Yeah, for the coconut tree. Yeah. So what's the first thing they want to do? They want to start pandering to the next lowest community other than black people. And then they get immigration. No, everyone just come on over. Your cousin you haven't seen in a little bit. We're going to let him over. We're going to let him come in. You know what? You need a phone. You need a place to stay. Go take over a fucking apartment complex in Colorado. No one will give a shit. Like, it just seems like they're trying to replace the black voice for the Democratic Party with Hispanic people. And that didn't work either, because more Hispanics probably voted I'm not going to say more Hispanics voted for the left than the right, but the shift was probably 8% more towards Trump, because these motherfuckers are going, hey, fuckface, I'm here legally. I went through the process. It was a pain in the ass. And now you're giving these guys $3,000 a month, a phone, and you're flying them anywhere in the country that they want to go. It just seems like there was
an awakening, I think.
I also think, sorry, it was Kale. I also think that sometimes the overconfident team comes out and just thinks that the other team's going to roll over.
Yeah.
And in a lot of cases with this election, it seemed like Trump was playing chess and they were playing checkers. The other thing I wanted to get to is traditional modes of messaging. And this is kind of crazy. There are times where I'm in like a joint meeting with other companies, and the other companies are talking about old streams of advertising. We're going to get billboards. We're going to put you in newspapers. We're going to do PR releases, all things that no one really pays attention anymore. If I said, Daryl, you go to work every day, give me 5 of the billboards that you've seen. Sometimes you're definitely not thinking about it when you're late to work or whatever. Like a billboard to me means nothing.
No, they don't stick in my head. And that's the thing with that problem with advertising, whether it's billboards or commercials. There's not enough creativity left in these fucking people that have these jobs today.
Yeah, and look at how commercials were impactful before people could actually record their TV shows. The first thing you do is skip over your commercials.
But the thing was, how many of us remember the premise of those commercials?
Mm-hmm.
Where's the beef?
That's when you couldn't skip a commercial. Now you can. So, and then I go in and speak, and I'm all about targeting and audiences and instant delivery and all that kind of stuff. The Democratic Party didn't adopt to the new way of thinking, just like how Obama won because he was, and I think Obama was in theory a good president. Turns out he killed more people ever with drone strikes than any other person in history. And he had more deportations than Trump did. Whatever.
That's going to change because I'm pretty sure I heard Trump say you are about to see the biggest mass deportation ever. And I'm like, I'm all for it.
Sure.
Clean this shit show up.
Yeah. What was I saying? Fuck.
Obama.
Deportations. Obama.
Killed all the people.
He was
a decent president.
He was eloquent.
He was a motherfucker, could talk.
Yeah, he's a great speaker.
He's a very good speaker. I wouldn't give a shit about the topic, but I'd probably sit through one of his speeches for a couple hours and listen to that guy. He was very well spoken.
I'm back on it. Okay. So Obama used social media for the first time ever, like as a person coming in, and the Republican Party was still going traditional media. Now, Obama still had to have probably like a 30% social media, 70% split on traditional stuff, like going on Jimmy Kimmel and going on all these places and doing the talk show syndicate. Trump was going on Rogan. He was going on Flagrant. He was going on, he was talking to Theo Vaughn, Bussin' with the Boys, shout out Michigan. Like there was a lot more organic conversations. And the Harris Party was unwilling to have. So Rogan got Trump first. Trump was there for 3 hours. And I wish.
Elon Musk in the background, just hotboxing both of them.
But Rogan's shit is like, it's not edited. We're not going to edit. And you're not going to give me questions. We're going to have an organic conversation.
Yeah.
Which to me, when I listened to it, it was one of the first times where Trump was more humanized. So on YouTube, that got 30 million views. He gets 20 times that on digital download and like Spotify and streaming and stuff like that, like app based. So a lot more people got to hear Trump like that. And Trump sure did spin himself into a wheel a few times and do the Trump thing that Trump does. But it was it humanized him a little bit. He went on Theo Vaughn. They talked about Theo Vaughn's cocaine use.
Oh yeah,
and it humanized Trump so much more. This adoption of new media, and this new media isn't short replacement of traditional media. It's like Rogan's numbers are 15 times what Fox and CNN get together, period.
Yeah, they're pretty
Like,
close to ours. He's pretty close to ours, I think.
We're
So, just real quick tangent. So you were telling me that number, like 1,500 people downloaded it or a podcast or whatever and listened to it, and you're like, that was 6% of our total audience or whatever. So we did the math, and it came out to be 25 or 30,000 people. So I was talking to Aubrey and Krista. Something came up about this podcast and how we had quite the epiphany last week. About how we were going to go on the road and we were going to make money and all this shit for the show and blah, 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 blah. And I told them, and I said, yeah, so Chris was giving me some numbers and it ended up being between like 25 and 30,000 people have listened.
That's our best 2 episodes.
Yeah. And Krista is like, there's absolutely no way. And I was like, you guys did the math wrong. And I'm like, well, I'm good with numbers. Uncle Chris is not.
No.
But he did say my math, and it came out to that. And she's like, there is no way 25,000 people would listen to you two idiots. And I'm like, yeah, but it happened, and we have the data to prove it. I'm like, we're there.
Yeah,
we need to do one of those a year. We need to find D-list talent here and there.
Yeah.
Or somebody that's fucking ungodly interesting.
I want Ric Flair.
All right, I'll reach out to my peeps.
Do you know Ric Flair?
No, but I know he loves Michigan.
Oh, there we go. And I got drunk I got drunk in the area with him. I went up and talked to him, and he goes, "Don't bring attention to me." I'm like, "Cool." And he was with the Kyle was there too. Yeah. And we ended up talking Ric Flair for probably 20 minutes.
Shut the fuck up. Don't do the woo thing right here.
Yeah. Oh, we did. It was his idea. I was like, I'm taking a selfie with you. And he goes, can I yell woo? I'm like, you're fucking Ric Flair. You can do whatever you want, dude. And Kyle goes, this is not Kyle. It's somebody else. It was Kyle.
Classic Kyle.
Ric Flair gets up to go piss. And Kyle goes, I heard he has a huge dick. I'm going to try to piss next to him. Kyle goes back, goes, it was pretty nice.
Yeah. Kyle's tall, so he can look over the little wall there.
Dude's got a mule on him. But yeah, no, I would love Ric Flair. I'd love like obscure people, you know, like
just like fight with little D-list talent here and there. It's like, dude, you got an hour to talk to us?
Yeah, we'd probably have to pay a fee.
I can't believe we didn't. Well, I mean, I can't believe we didn't have to pay Afro Man.
Yeah, somebody else paid that fee.
We should have somebody else do that again.
For sure. Yeah, I think we should do Afro Man V2 for sure.
Yeah.
We
should do it on his farm.
Fuck yes. Absolutely, I'm in.
I'll get good at DJing and I'll bring my shit.
No.
And I'll play hang on. I'm gonna play rap music and stuff, and he's just gonna sing songs. After party, I mean.
You know, it'd be great if we could get him to make a song while we're shooting the shit. Like lay down some baseline tracks.
Yeah.
And then just have him, that'd be fucking great. But yeah, so the Afro Man got like 1,200, 1,500 people that listen to it on Spotify. And then the Spotify way it tracks it is kind of weird because it'll say you had this many listens, and then it will go into your total listens. And Spotify, for a long time, Spotify was like 28, 30%, but now Spotify's 6%. But the numbers keep going up. But the only marker I get to look at is how many people listen to it on Spotify because we're on a Spotify-based system. So it's kind of strange, but
yeah,
whatever. But then again, like they'll listen to that, and then where we're talking to Afro Man, and that was a good conversation, and you fucking were the badge winner on that one. And then they'll listen to one of them was Chris is in a mood that we did probably 7 months in, and that one got a ton. And then it was like not radio silence, but like I would say 1,000 or something like that per, if you look at the adjustment and stuff like that and the numbers. And then some other ones just spiked. One of them we did Michigan, Buffalo's dead, Michigan wins. And then that one got like 150 listens on Spotify, which was pretty good. And then you go, okay, but if that's 6% of the audience, I'm thinking it's going to fucking 1,000 people total.
Yeah. But
And that's not even the case, you know? So whatever.
I mean, you sit there and I'm like, Chris, people ask Chris, like, do you watch this podcast? You listen? She's like, nope. Every great once in a while, if he does let it slip that something's going to happen. She's like, I did watch the Afro Man one because he fucking traveled 300 miles on fucking 3 days notice to go do this. And I had to let him go because this is one of his, his idols. This would have been a bucket list thing for him. If I said, no, you stay home and watch fucking Home Alone with the kids.
Yeah.
It's going to crush them.
You got to go.
And she goes, I did watch that one. There's a couple, if something's interesting, I know they're going to talk about, I'll tune in for a few minutes. And it's like, and I get the whole, you need to be funny. And that takes me back to that day. You, me, and Krista were out drinking at Riverworks.
Yeah.
And we started bar hopping and we went to the Blue Wall. And that's when Krista left us.
Yep.
Because she was bored. You guys aren't funny. We don't have it on every time. I'm not forcing the funny. I'm not. Some days there's organically absolute fucking pure hysterical shit coming out of us. And then that night we went on to get hustled by a midget who I talked about this morning at Vinny's.
Yeah.
And because the guy hung out at Vinny's, goes to Neighbors and knows Peter.
Yeah.
And we had a good laugh all day. And then I said, in the moment, I know we have some funny shit because all of a sudden you can tell if one of us disappears off the screen and hear pure laughter. And I go, the real bad episode a month ago, and the one with this was forever ago, the fucking, the Susan invents Velcro, the one where suction cups.
Suction cups, yeah.
Holy fuck.
Yeah.
But then there's days I'm like, man, how'd podcast go? Just, hey, thanks for asking. It was just complete and utter 6 hours of shit. But then I'll go back and watch it. And within minutes, I'm fucking dying. And I'm sitting at work going, I can't watch this.
I've people that I know kind like loosely, but they've, when you have a podcast, you get like a QR code and they can scan it and like sign up for it and stuff like that. And Jerry's been good about going, no, this is the one we're on. I'm like, you haven't been on in fucking a year, dude.
Yeah.
But he'll just get people to listen to it.
Thanks,
and I'll sit down at the bar and some guy will go, are you the guy from the podcast? I'm like, yeah. I'm like, dude, the one where you guys were talking about whatever. And I don't know what the fuck we talk about because I blacked the fuck out, you know? He goes, you guys are so fucking funny. Like, do you guys do anything else? I'm like, no, we
have normal jobs and wives and kids, but
I had I had septic guys come out today. I had to buy a septic motor, and then apparently the guys that put in the pool scraped the wire that powers the motor for the septic motor. So, but he's like, but they had to keep coming through the basement, and he goes, it looks like you have a fucking TV studio in your basement. And I was like, yeah, I do this podcast. He's like, well, why? I'm like, well, it started because of COVID and also I do go through the general story. And he goes, but so people listen to it. I'm like, yeah, we used to have more before we started getting strikes on Facebook. We used to be a little bit more organically fed to the people that like us.
Yeah.
We used to have 10 or 15 people watching in real time. Now we have 1, 2, sometimes 10. But he's like, well, that's fucking cool. I'm like, to me, it's just a place for me and you to get together and shoot the shit. Like,
because this is a little bit more fun than phone calls.
We do this there's times where I wish we were doing a podcast when you call me at 10 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah. It's 10 o'clock and I'm just calling you to let you know I'm leaving the bar. I'm going home. I'm going to sleep all day so I can get my rest and I'll be ready to go for tonight. I'm excited. Mm-hmm. And you're like, all right, any topics? And I'll think about them at the bar and send them to you. And it's like 10:30. I call you in the morning, which is 9:30 your time. And all you hear on the other end when he picks up is like, oh boy.
Yeah.
Because there has been a couple days at around 11 I've called you and I was fucking hammered.
Yeah.
And you're like, this ought to be good. I'm like, yeah, I'm going to play poker. I'm not going to sleep. I'm going to drink all day.
I bring shit up. I'm like, yeah, remember this? And you're like, no, we never talk about that. I'm like, you literally called me with this today.
Allegedly.
That's,
so I have this thing on this phone that's
OD, other Daryl.
Yeah. That apparently
ODB.
It's like after a phone call, it's like there's a recap on my phone and it'll recap your message. So the other day I was on the phone with my mom and I hit it. I'm like, what the fuck is this? Because I want to hear how bad my mom was slurring, getting like a text message recap. And it says, now recording. She's like, what was that? I'm like, and I hit the stop button. I'm like, oh, I didn't know it recorded you and then gave you a synopsis at the end. So apparently, like if I call you, I can hit that button and whatever we talk about, I'll get a note about it afterwards.
Keep that.
But I'm like, interesting.
You should record the next couple times we talk,
okay,
and then read them alive.
Yeah,
alive. So last thing about pandering too, because I wrote it down on this. I wrote dementia on a cup.
I have a cup here, but it is not.
Mine's got all my spitters in it.
Mine's got mold in it from 3 weeks ago.
Another thing about rigging, if dare we say, is for the longest time, people are saying this dude is a steel trap. He's so with it. Let's see if I have it.
This dude is who?
Biden.
Yeah.
So, like, let me see if I can unmute this. This stuff. So you have the vehicle, the machine saying he's with it. He's this. He's really sharp. He's detail oriented. But every time the guy goes out in public, he falls over. And this is leading up to an election. And then he's after the debate. I got problems with Joe Biden because I think Joe Biden used the system to get into some really nefarious shit and stockpile some cash, whatever. His son acts like a rich kid when his father's made $150,000 a year for X amount of years. Seems a little dicey, but whatever.
That's money that's on the books. We all know that those guys are making mad cash.
Yeah, his son has no knowledge of anything and is on the board at certain places and getting paid for certain places. To me, it seems a little crazy. I believe that there's going to be, this is my tinfoil hat moment, I believe that there's going to be a dual pardon. I think Trump's going to meet with Biden. Biden's going to come out and pardon him because as a Democratic person and for the health of the country, Biden's going to go ahead and pardon Trump for anything that's come down the line. And, for the better good of the country, we need to move forward, all this other kind of shit.
Together, we need
to
move forward. That's going
to be the talking point. Yeah. And it's going to give a little shine to the Democrats, which fine, take it. And then I believe that Trump's going to get in and Trump's not going to go after all the stuff that Trump's been saying. This guy is fucking corrupt. He's got like different corporations set up and like phantom shit. Like, I just think that there's going to be a little American fucking gangster shit going on in the background. And it's fine if Biden can go and just go lay on a beach and live the rest of his life. And
the ultimate power play, Biden pardons Trump first. It's over and done with. He can't do anything. Trump goes after him, just absolutely buries him.
And here's where I think the left's version of Trump, that Trump would, I really don't think Trump would do it. I think Trump would honor any agreement that he goes into, right? But this is what they were saying. When you're looking at this guy's face.
Jesus Christ, what a
this version of Biden, intellectually, analytically, is the best Biden ever.
He is sharp, intensely probing, and detail-oriented and focused.
For example, we had 1,000 trillionaires in America. Billionaires in America.
This is a man who is sharp, who is on top of his game, who knows what's going on.
He's smart. He's on his game.
His mental acuity is great.
This is a very sharp president.
And the people that I've talked to say he's as sharp as a tack. He's fine.
They say he's sharp.
There's not a problem.
He was sharp.
He was
Sharp as the
sharper
backside
than
of a
anyone
tack.
I've spoken to.
The president is sharp and he is tireless. He is sharp.
As sharp as ever.
And he's fine. All this right-wing propaganda that his mental acuity has declined is wrong.
His brain is good. He's still great.
He is sharp in meetings.
I believe the people who say that behind closed doors, Joe Biden remains sharp.
In meetings, Joe Biden is sharp.
He's sharp, he's fit.
There is nothing.
The second that you hear multiple clips using the same keywords, left or right, that's when all of us got to throw challenge flags.
Did we not see this with COVID on the news reports?
We did.
From all different states,
Yep.
all different cities, the same exact thing. They just overlaid it. It was the same sentences.
Yep. Meanwhile, they're saying that during the COVID stuff, which to me again was another example of the media. So if I were to say, guess how much money pharmaceutical industry pays CNN a year? I don't know the number, but what do you think?
I don't even have a good guess.
Let's go TV advertising.
$350
In 2022, it was $1 billion a month.
All right, so I was originally going to go 500, and I backed off of that.
In 2023, it was $4.47 billion a month.
Holy fuck!
So if
way low.
And just as a goof one day, turn on Fox News late at night. Now, this is where being a right-leaning organization is going to get a little fucked. I do think RFK is going to restrict the ability for pharmaceutical companies to advertise on TV.
I would love that.
There are two countries in the world that do it. It's us and Finland. Finland has a lot more restrictions. Nobody else in the entire globe actually advertises pharmaceutical commercials on TV.
So we don't have to see fucking douchebag athletes and musicians rolling up their sleeve and showing their two Band-Aids?
Yes.
Good.
Which to me, the fucking Kelsey Taylor Swift
like
thing,
that dude, but whatever.
I like him too. And I like Taylor Swift.
Football player. Yeah.
To me, it seems like it's a little bit of propaganda to get something going. Now, I guarantee, here's my over and under right on the board. I bet you that Kelsey and Swift are done by March 5th. Because they can't do it January 6th.
They gotta wait. Give it a few months.
Let it run its course.
I mean,
No,
well, I
they-
thought Taylor Swift was influencing an election here.
Sure. Yeah.
I thought that wasn't that one of the conspiracy theories?
Turns out, I think that it was more of a COVID conspiracy.
Yeah.
I think that, the second they start dating this guy's doing COVID commercials, it's like, all right, come on. The whole thing's fucked. So COVID, like all the COVID rhetoric too, coming from the media. Joe Rogan gets COVID and he's 57 years old and he beats it in 3 days and he's never been vaccinated. Chris Cuomo is on CNN saying that if you don't get vaccinated, you're going to spread it.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. You're a super spreader.
Me and you go to a restaurant. I'm vaccinated. You're not. And you're not protecting me, who's vaccinated, because you're not vaccinated.
Mm-hmm.
That makes no sense based on the rhetoric that we were told before. If you're vaccinated and I'm not vaccinated, but you can't get the COVID thing anymore, I'm doing you a disservice. But if you can't get it, who the fuck cares, right?
Natural immunity champion.
Sure.
Right here.
Yeah. And no disease would live in your body.
No.
Um,
Copious amounts of alcohol have helped that along.
I've had COVID probably 7 times.
All right.
So here's the kicker.
Okay.
I know you want to go.
I got something to show. I'm going to share my screen when you're done here.
Okay.
And then we can walk off into the sunset. Never do this again.
So
Or
Chris Cuomo and Don Lemon are on CNN when Joe Rogan gets COVID. I don't have a clip for it, but I can find it. They are saying that because Rogan went on and said, I'm taking ivermectin, I'm doing vitamin drips, I'm doing anything I can, but he's not vaccinated, right?
Yeah.
Chris Cuomo is saying that the next turn, ivermectin is it's a generic drug.
Oh.
Okay, so that's the course of it. It's used in animals, but it's also been used like 16 billion times in humans, mainly for malaria, right? There were some studies that were showing that because of this drug, it would stop the disease that was in you that you caught, like COVID, from multiplying and getting worse, right? So Rogan gets it. He starts taking it, and he says, I'm taking ivermectin. Ivermectin is an off-market drug, so it's not a primary drug. So you can't make it something for 5 cents and sell it for $3,000. You can make it for 5 cents, and you can only sell it for a certain amount up, right? The guy that invented it got a Pulitzer Prize for the invention of this thing, right? So Rogan starts taking it. CNN, who gets most of their money from pharmaceutical companies, by the way,
Pfizer.
Most of their money, like 89% of their money is, and maybe My Pillow guy, right? That's it.
Oh, yeah.
Right. So they start shitting on him. He's taking horse dewormer, all this other
Oh,
kind of
yeah.
shit.
That's what it was. Not horse tranquilizer, horse dewormer.
Yeah. Turns out, guess who takes ivermectin every day? Chris Cuomo. Because he has long COVID. I don't believe he has long COVID because I've never heard of long COVID. But
that was a stupid fucking thing they just brought up for people that are perpetually getting colds.
I've heard of something called being vaccine injured by getting the main COVID vaccine
and then
boosters and boosters and boosters, which CNN was mandating for these people to get. Now, let's give Chris Cuomo a little bit of grace here. He worked at a place where maybe he was brainwashed into thinking that all the people that were giving him information he was at the forefront of the information, right? Like it or not, sometimes people buy all in. That's great. But he still won't walk back on what he said. And Rogan was right. Rogan, who was a Bernie supporter, who smokes weed, moderate, I would say on the grand scale of things, he would be 20 years ago, Rogan would be a right-leaning Democrat. Now he is the Antichrist Republican.
Yeah.
And his policies haven't changed at all.
No.
He voted. And the last thing I'll say about this shit, and this is where I think they really fucked up to people that were paying attention. Turn the page. Turn the page. Turn the page. We need to turn the page on this. Turn the page on whatever. Other than Trump's presidency, the last 12 years, so 12 out of 16 years, it's all been Democrats in office. 12 out of 16 years. You're coming out of this is where I got angry with the Harris campaign. Number one, from a marketing perspective and messaging perspective. Number two, because who the fuck is going to believe this shit? You know? But like, you're coming out of being the vice president. They Caesared the standing president for you. And you have the nuts to say that it's time to turn the page?
Because they asked her, what would you do different?
Nothing.
Do nothing. Everything was great.
Yeah. Nothing. Yeah.
And then she's like, on day one, I'm going to fix it. Hold on. What are you fixing? Everything's great.
Yeah. Yeah. Yep.
Trump's like, fuck this. I am going to rearrange this country.
Yeah. I'd rather go off of it. And again, it's easy, even from a marketing standpoint. I meet with the customer. The customer goes, this is what the old agency is doing. And I say, we're going to do some of that. We're going to do some more of this stuff. And we should see some good results. Right. But they're so sick of this old agency that they're going to go with you anyways.
Yeah.
You know, but your shit has to hit.
Yeah.
You have to be right.
But it's just so funny. Like all these people with all these promises Trump said with the gas and the economy and, oil production and tariffs and keeping everything in house and deporting and everything. Everybody wants that to happen by the 7th. And I'm like, you understand? Listen, we already bitched about the gas prices and everybody said that Biden can't control that. So that should hold the same amount of weight for Trump.
Yeah.
If on January 7th, gas prices aren't at $2 a gallon, you don't get to scream and yell and say he's going to fix it because guess what? You already said Biden couldn't do it as a sitting president. So why is it okay for him, but not okay for Trump? Because he's trying to help.
And the fucked up part is this. Trump saying, I'm going to put a 200% tariff on any car made in Mexico to come over the border. Economists will say it's going to drive the cost of the vehicle up 200%. So it's going to be unaffordable. No one's going to buy it. Or if they do buy it, they're going to be hampered with death. What Trump is really saying is if you don't get your shit in order, I'm going to motherfuck you. That's it.
Yeah.
It's a threat.
Yeah,
it's
everybody thinks it's gospel and it's going to happen on, he gets in January 6th, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So January 7th, they expect everything changed. I'm like, wait a sec. You can't hold him to that same fucking candle you did Biden. If Biden got away with it, Trump has time to fix this, to move the needle.
Honestly,
it doesn't change like this. He can't just say gas is now $2 a gallon across the fucking land. It doesn't work like that. It takes time to get it back down.
If they go and do the Keystone Pipeline that got vetoed before it got built, right?
Yeah.
And Trump is at an extreme luxury because he's a lame duck president. He's never going to get reelected, right?
Well, yeah.
Unless he does what Oprah says, and we might never have the chance to vote ever again. Come on. Trump could just start swinging for the fucking fences.
Yeah.
Like in the first 3 months. Now, what would that do to oil prices and oil futures? It would probably reduce the cost of oil barrels by
as it should,
which should drive down the cost of gas.
Yes.
Because of the promise of this. So like these oil companies, they do have surplus. They're not making something on a Tuesday and sending it out on a Wednesday.
But it's funny how quick gas prices will change though. Hey,
yeah.
Oil went up $4 a barrel. Gas prices just went up 10 cents. That gas isn't even here yet.
Yeah. Yep. That's the way it works.
You already paid $3 a gallon for that tanker of gas that's still coming here.
Yep.
And all of a sudden, boop, it goes up to $3.29. What the fuck just happened?
Yep. But it's bought on transport. it's the way it is. So I do think I think Trump's going to take some pretty big shots.
I hope so, man. I'm all for it.
I mean, I want the global. It seems like everyone's playing fucking Risk right now. You know?
And that's the thing too. Is like, look what happened under Biden. We funneled how many tens?
190 billion.
Hundreds of billions of dollars to Ukraine. And I asked you this one question one day, whether we were on the phone, it was after a podcast or whatever. If Trump was in office, how many dollars would he have sent there?
0. I think he would have gotten a plane and met with Zelensky and Putin together.
Yep.
And they would have come up with an agreement. And also, Trump's not a fan of NATO. The only reason Putin's doing this shit or started this shit is because Biden wanted Ukraine to be part of NATO. Russia has a strict agreement. No neighboring countries of Russia can be part of NATO because that's a direct threat on Russia. Day one of office, they said, we want Ukraine to be in NATO. And I do see the point of wanting Ukraine in NATO. Ukraine is the breadbasket of America. They make more grain there than anything. They make
they're what do you call it? Exports are like top of the fucking list.
Yeah. But you got to know that when you poke the fucking bear, no offense that Russia's fucking flag is a bear, they're going to do what they said. So they were right by doing. Russia was 100% right doing what Russia did. Whether you like Russia or not, look at things objectively. We'll get out of here and we'll have a more fun, dumb podcast. Oh, yeah. You want to share your screen?
Yeah. So
I got in my bathroom downstairs, I think I have 4 slices of the toilet paper, and this is a 7 slicer dump.
Yeah, boy. All right. So
got to use my socks, son.
There. Share screen. Bing. Would you like to share screen to that? Share. Are you ready? This is my favorite ever. Can you see it?
Mm-hmm.
Is it on your screen? Okay, ready?
No! No! Why? I can't believe Trump's actually going to win this fucking thing. Oh, Jesus Christ. I'm so pissed off. Fuck. God damn it.
All right, guys, it's time to go to bed. None of us are stressed about the election, right? How racist this country is. Misogynistic. Y'all, I don't know how this is happening. Wake up!
After Donald Trump destroyed Kamala Harris in the election, liberals online, on TikTok, on social media were freaking out. And we're going to go through the best meltdown clips of these liberals losing their mind, crying.
Dude, how
being
awesome
so
is this?
sad and irritated that Trump won. It's Sean Daniel here. If you guys enjoyed the video, consider subscribing. And if you've already subscribed, thank you so much.
Back to the fucking
Let's go.
reactions.
If you're looking to sell a car, Carvana will give
cunt.
you a real offer in seconds.
Where's this guy?
Right when they pick up your car at your home.
Stop. Did it stop?
It did.
It's still loud as fuck in my ears. There we go. All right. But that was my favorite part of the election, is watching people just absolutely melt down.
It's like
For
the
no
people,
fucking reason, dude.
I remember seeing a video of this girl where her snake died. And then she sets up her camera to go and film herself crying about her snake dying. And you're like, at a certain point, life goes on. Like, I had a dog named Steve. I posted about Steve saying we had to put Steve down today, but I didn't prop up a camera on the vet floor while Steve took his last breaths and I cried.
Yeah.
Because I'm not a fucking narcissist. I'm a racist.
Hard R in the beginning.
But I'm not a narcissist. Yeah. No. I mean, you do feel bad. I do feel bad. This is how I talk to my therapist. If you talk in generalities and you say, well, it means you're not making it about you. So you have to say, I feel bad that there are some people that are so locked into the key initiative of what they've been told that they don't understand that it's probably not going to be even a 10th of what they think.
Yeah.
I feel bad for those people because to those people, it's the end of the goddamn world.
If Harris would have won, I'm not making a reaction video. You know what I would have said? Fuck.
Yeah.
And guess what? I would have went to work. I would have came home and I would have went to bed. I would have got up, got my kids off the bus. I would have read with my son. I would have
Life
had
goes
dinner
on,
with my
man.
family.
Yeah.
I would have had a couple beers Friday. We're going to bitch about it on the podcast and move on with our fucking lives.
Yeah. Life goes on. Yeah. And, you know, truth be told, walking into that day, nice. I didn't know that he was going to win. I didn't even think he was going to win.
I think you and I had a little bit of that conversation. We're like, man, whatever. I was talking to Sammy, and he even put up a post. He's like, I just don't feel at ease right now. He goes, obviously nothing's locked in, because at that point, that afternoon, man, in my head, it was 50-50. And I'm like, they are pushing the anti-Trump rhetoric so hard that she might pull this off.
Well,
And
what
then
they say, like 90% of Harris articles were favorable. 10% of Trump articles were favorable.
Yeah.
And that's what people are getting fed nonstop.
Yeah.
And if it's one thing to go, if you're a Democrat, in my head, I think you're a sensitive person that cares about other people. That's what I think in my head.
I just think you're fucking loon if you're one side or the other and then live your life for politics.
Sure. But if someone has a Harris Waltz sign in their yard, I think, okay, this is what they think. That's what I'm projecting on them, right? But if I have a Trump Vance sign in my yard, which I didn't have because I don't want to get vandalized, they think I'm a Nazi.
Yeah.
There's two like one's extreme, one's like, oh, you know, like one's Moana, the other one's Schindler's List. And you're like, there's no fucking in between here.
Tuesday was the election, right? Yeah. Tuesday, I walk out of my house, 4 houses up, Harris wall signs in the yard, all the Democrats, all the little signs in her front yard. I come home, it's 5:45 Wednesday morning.
All gone?
They're all gone.
Yeah.
I'm like, what did you do? Go out there and rage, pick them up?
Oh, that's got to be so defeating.
And that was the thing too. Was like, she just didn't get beat. She got clobbered.
Yeah, she got asked.
I mean, they're talking about the red wave was coming before. Obviously, that election. I almost said erection.
Nice.
Because there's a bunch of beers flowing through me. Was some fuckery, as we could see what happened now.
Mm-hmm.
She got beat in key states. She got beat in states that she should have won.
She got beat in counties.
She got beat so bad. She should never show her face in public ever again.
No.
And it wasn't just this. And Andrew lost the popular vote. And you're probably going to lose the House.
Yep.
It's going to be a complete Republican Congress.
Yeah.
Isn't it? Yeah, Congress is made of the House and the Senate, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm not good with politics. You got fucking obliterated.
But they deserve it.
Oh,
you know,
100%.
that's the part of me that, like, there's parts of my family that will, like, vilify me for, like, being happy about it. But, like, you kind of deserve it for not. So your only options are a party that I'll share my screen one more time. This fucking dude was literally in the background of Biden's wife talking. I have it labeled as this fucking guy.
Fucking.
Look at this guy.
This fucking.
Look at him.
What guy? I can't see anything. I can see your email that says this fucking.
Oh, wrong one. Hold on. Stop sharing. He looks like Gary Busey and cocaine. Look at him.
Oh my God.
So, like, this is.
Make no mistake. All these rights and freedoms are on the ballot in November of the very long list.
This is a video where they're trying to enact people, and this dude is.
Dude, how many drugs are coursing through his body right now?
I mean, I've done some drugs that make you smile like that. And then I've woken up and gone, I should never do that again. And we have the same hairline. So this might be me.
To freedoms and rights that President Biden is protecting during a period of constant assault.
This is the shit that people were force fed. And, you know, and I really feel bad. Like, I was kind of hoping that Vivek would make his way through. I think the guy's so well spoken. He's so detail oriented.
Yeah, and he's one of those, he's a dark horse, and I think he just needs some exposure and whatever.
But
Dot or feather.
Dot. You don't.
I know.
You don't want feathers. But like, I just think there's so many more capable people on the Republican Party, and I hope I think if I could like say a little prayer for stuff, I hope that they take this momentum and they don't give a reason for this side of the field to go way over here again.
Yeah.
Let's bring you over
back,
you know,
near the middle. Let's just, here's the middle. Just stay a little on each side.
Yeah. Hey, I mean, you guys, you had your power go out.
Berserk.
We got generators. Come on over. Just come over a little bit.
Yeah.
Bring the gays. It's fine. Oh, you want to kill your baby? Come on.
Yeah.
15 weeks.
What is it? I don't know what category I fall into. We need to get the fuck out of this anyhow. But I'm like, the woman should choose. She should choose. That's her body, her decision, whatever. Yeah. So am I pro-choice then?
Yes.
So pro-life is people that think there should never be an abortion.
Right.
Okay. It's up to you. I'm sorry. It should always be up to you.
Okay. Here's where I get off the table a little bit. If me and this girl are married and things are going well, and then she decides that she wants to leave me and she's a month away from having the baby and she's going to go have an abortion, that's a full baby.
Yes. I'm talking, this is, hey man, I missed my period. I peed on a stick. I went to a doctor, got a pregnancy test. Boom. It is confirmed. I do have, I am pregnant. The baby is now that fucking big inside of me.
Sure. There should be a global acceptable time limit.
Yes.
Across but here's what Trump did with the Supreme Court. He made it up to the states based on the state laws.
Yeah.
Which is what RGB was a fan of.
Yeah.
You don't want to live in those states? Great. Don't live in those states. But if you want to have an abortion, you know, they were putting commercials out where a girl goes to one other state, and then she's driving back and the cop arrests her for killing him. It's like, that's not even fucking remotely true.
Yeah. But hey, it's on the internet. It's true now.
I got to piss on my ass.
Yeah, I got to do that. Oh, no, I don't have to do that. I have to piss.
It's going to be a hard one and maybe a solid 2. I'm not sure.
So we'll be back in about
10,
15 minutes, whatever.
All right. We're out of here.